All right, welcome back to All Cars, y'all. I am John. It is time for another Motorweek retro review reaction. This week, it is not a Dodge Daytona. That was my original plan. It is the 1995 Buick Riviera. I could not pass up the opportunity to go ahead and do this one because I'm a big fan of this car, the platform, the engines. I think it's gorgeous. Let's jump into it and see what Motorweek says about it in 1995.
Motorweek is made possible by Lucas Oil, Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper, and TireRack.com.
The modern Buick Riviera leapt onto the American automotive scene in 1963. And in the more than 30 years since, that name has resided on a long line of sometimes stylish, sometimes conservative two-door coupes. And while the Riviera has always sold well enough, tough new competitors have forced Buick to take a different tack and introduce the most striking Riviera yet.
So before they go on, this is largely based on the same platform as the Oldsmobile Aurora that I recently did. And this is, I believe, the last great personal luxury coupe that America produced. I like the platform, I like the engine. It is not perfect, I will admit that. It is not a world changer, but gosh, it is gorgeous. I like the front end. I like what they were doing with the grille. You can see where they could move in the future. I like the headlights. I like the swoopy styling. I like the haunches on it. I like basically every angle on this car. As much as I like the Oldsmobile, the Riviera is better in almost every aspect. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous car. I've always wanted to own one, but they were pretty short-lived and sold only modestly at best. And now their time has passed. But let's see how they were reviewed when they were new.
We know we were struck by the new Riviera's looks when we first saw it late last fall. By daring to be different, Buick stylists designed a car with every bit as much classic character as the original '63 Riviera, created by GM's legendary chief stylist, Bill Mitchell. Yet the '95 Riviera is as modern looking as any car on the road today. Its series of compound curves or oval shapes give this long hood coupe vastly different appearances when viewed from different angles. The front end alone presents a number of smooth elliptical shapes that help the Riv achieve a very fine 0.32 coefficient of drag.
You know, I'm going to jump in here and say that if you took this car and a modern stylist took this grille and made it extend below the bumper, right, like BMW, Mercedes, Genesis does now, this would still look pretty modern. Gorgeous car. I truly believe this was ahead of its time.
The rear deck carries through with the elliptical theme, yet has one of the industry's horsiest tail lamp assemblies. Rivieras feature two styles of 16-inch alloy wheels. These 12-spoke rims with 60 Series Eagle GA tires are included with the supercharged V6. Riviera shares its all-new G platform with Oldsmobile's upcoming Aurora sedan, yet the coupe-only Riv is 2 inches longer than the four-door Olds. Another difference will be their engine. While Auroras get V8 power, Buick chose two 3.8-liter V6s to drive the Riviera's front wheels. The first 4,000 cars will receive a supercharged powertrain developing 225 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque, good enough to move the Riviera from 0 to 60 in just 8.5 seconds. Later in the year, a refined version of GM's normally aspirated 3800 V6 becomes the base Riviera engine. Its 205 horsepower and 230 pound-feet of torque should provide 9.7 second 0 to 60 times.
So, not earth-shattering numbers, but this is a great engine, a very reliable engine, and absolutely the choice, in my opinion. The fact that the Buick came with both of these I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. And the numbers, these 0 to 60s, are not earth shattering. They're not going to change your life. They're not going to surprise you, but a solid engine that's super reliable and gives really good performance. I like this powertrain. I really, really do.
GM's fine 4T60E electronically controlled 4-speed automatic is the Riviera's only transmission. To develop a Riviera that was both safe and agile, engineers created the most rigid body structure in Buick history. New suspension and steering systems give Riviera a quiet, comfortable ride, yet surprisingly precise and balanced handling. In piloting Buick's flagship through the desert landscapes around Phoenix, we were impressed with the accuracy of the magnetic variable assist steering system that controls maneuvering effort with electric current. A glance inside the Riviera confirms that this is an American luxury car. Its spacious interior features a retro-look hooded instrument panel, but includes the modern safety of dual airbags. Indeed,
No. This is, in my opinion, ugly. Too many circles, too many expanses of basic plastic. I'm interested to see what they say here regarding the ergonomics of it, but they mailed it in with the styling. This should be a rich, luxurious space, and they didn't do that. They just basically created plastic and cut holes out of it. Very, very disappointing, in my opinion.
Indeed, these huge recessed white-on-black analog gauges come straight from the 1960s. Buick believes that its seats are as up-to-date as any in the world. Our car's optional leather bucket seats fit perfectly. A cloth bench seat is standard, as are 6-way power adjustments and a leather-wrapped tilt steering wheel. Driver's seat heat is optional. Both climate control and sound systems are neatly stacked within easy reach of driver and passenger. Buick's dual temperature controls allow both front occupants custom comfort. Oddly, the compact disc loading is separated from the rest of the stereo. Otherwise, controls are easy to use. Buick engineers were also aggressive in their efforts to control Riviera noise levels. The Riv registered the mile-per-hour decibel readings of any car ever tested by GM. Riviera also tested well with others in the automotive media. Popular Mechanics said, "One look at the 1995 Buick Riviera tells you that this is something new and different. And overall, the new coupe delivers luxury without excessive softness." While Automobile Magazine concluded, the result is the quintessential 90s American luxury car. Big, quiet, with a newfound body rigidity. A remarkable ability to cling to twisting roads despite considerable body roll. Add in Riviera's reasonable $27,600 to $32,700 price range, and it also becomes the bargain choice in the luxury coupe class. But luxury coupe buyers are a fiercely loyal bunch, and price alone may not sway them. But we are convinced that the Riviera's striking looks, outstanding comfort and performance, and classic execution will.
Wow, that was short. No road testing, slalom, braking, anything like that. The rear end always struck me as a little weak. They sloped it down. They put the lights low, and it never quite worked for me. From the 3/4 forward, I think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous car. But the interior is 90s GM. It's super, super chintzy. And if you're looking for a personal luxury car at the time, this is nice. This is beautiful on the outside. It's almost art, and with a really strong, reliable engine. But would you pass up an Acura or an Audi for this? And I think that's part of what the problem was. It sold about 40,000 the first year, and then like 17, 20,000 the next year. And it kind of tailed off. It only sold for about 4 years. This was so close to being a home run, but they really kind of missed it. And part of it that was, I think, the platform. The Aurora suffers from a lot of the same problems as this car. It was thick and it was heavy, and while that rigidity they talked about was really good, it encroached on the passenger space in the process. They weren't as efficient of cars as some of their competition. You know, in 1995, if I had this money, I did not. In 1995, I was buying a Neon. I don't know I would get the Riviera. I think it's gorgeous, and I love Buick, and I love the history of Buick. I love the idea of driving a Buick personal luxury car. And I love this car. I would love to drive one and review it. But at the time, I'm not sure that something from Acura wouldn't be a better financial decision. Beautiful car. Great engine. Ultimately, I guess I just feel GM missed the mark on it, and the sales kind of represented that. Let me know your thoughts below, guys. Thanks for being here.